one man in the pack tonight who owes a great deal and had probably the greatest respect of all for Gary Patterson was one Steve Brazier in the number 58 car at the moment. And there's one man who would dearly love to take the Gary Patterson Racers Cup.
Oh, very true, very true. Certainly Steve was a great mate of Gary Patterson, and I think Steve Brazier, certainly he's my tip for tonight's race. I feel Steve Brazier is certainly the driver to win it, and with so much riding on it, you can bet your life that Steve Brazier will be more than determined to win this race in honour of his great mate, Gary Patterson.
Okay, let's look at the field as they form into rows of two, all just about in readiness now. Trevor Shield on pole position, could have a start now. Ian Lewis off the second row out of Victoria. Green flag fires, 20 laps of incredible sprint car action to come your way as they get underway now for the 1986 Valvoline Gary Patterson Racers Cup at PCR Sprint Car City, the action track. This time onto the main straightaway, one down, 19 remaining now. Jumps out as the race leader. Ian Lewis from Victoria's in second running. George Tatnall in third. Back then to Kev Worthington, and now Gary Rush jumps out of the pack in position 4. Up on two wheels is Attard now as Ian Lewis, the Victorian, jumps out now as the race leader with Alan Harris relegated back to second. Tatnall blasts through on the inside. Tatnall in the Winfield car in second running. And it looks like a lock motor over on the back section. Peter Attard. And the amber caution lights come out. It looks like possibly a blown motor or a lock-up of some description over on the back section for the 53 car of Peter Attard. As the field now is brought around to move on to the tail of the early race leader, Ian Lewis from Victoria.
Okay, Alan, also John Walsh striking troubles, but Ian Lewis very, very quickly into stride there too, so Ian Lewis heading the field at the present time.
He wasn't going to sit round, Dennis, locked in somewhat from position 3, but got out of that second row and moved past the first lap leader, Alan Harris, in the 29 car. So Ian Lewis, he's been a runaway victor here before at Parramatta City Raceway. George Tatnall, however, has shown just how keen he is. He dived through on the inside to take over second place, and now it would seem that George will be relegated back to third, and we would assume from that manoeuvre that that happened on the closing lap of the amber caution light. So under the regulations, George would move back to his position on the previous recorded lap.
Yes, Alan, this promises to be a great race because back in fourth spot is Gary Rush, and back in sixth position is Steve Brazier. So, and separating
Brazier started on the second back row in the number 58 car. Remember that Steve Brazier has already set a 13.1 second lap, 13.1 second lap already tonight, and as we've explained too, and as so many of our race fans would be well aware of, that Steve Brazier was not only a great fan of Gary Patterson's, he was a friend, and he owes so much of his racing success to Gary Patterson. It's fair to say that Steve was a student of Gary Patterson's.
Oh, very much so, yes, very much so. In fact, as an example of his admiration and friendship for Gary, of course, on hearing the news, Steve flew to America to attend the funeral. So that'll give you some indication of his admiration for this. And Steve Brazier, well, getting a flying start that time.
Okay, the starter says no and requires a further lap of the circuit at least, but the cars will have to get back into their designated positions. Ian Lewis keen to kick away and take this trophy home to Victoria, but there are some 15, 16 New South Wales cars tucked right in behind who have other designs. Also back in the pack is Kev McCullum out of Victoria in car number 60. I was looking for him, but he's back on virtually second from last at this stage. So Kevin already with a heat win, but he'll have his work cut out in this field tonight. But however, that's not to say that it can't be done. We've still got some 18, 19 laps. We'll see if we can get a direct number for you, but there's 18, 19 laps perhaps remaining. Lightning Lance informs us 18 laps remaining. And you watch Lewis jump away out the front. Alan Harris gathers him in, Tatnall on the inside. Razor catches the flyer on the high line. Out of turn 4 onto the main straightaway they race. Lewis takes advantage of the front row now. Tatnall bursts through on the inside of Harris. Garry Rush is back there in 4th placing. Through on the inside goes Rush. So it's Ian Lewis, George Tatnall and Garry Rush. The Winfield cars running 2 and 3, and the Victorian 18 car of Ian Lewis kicking away off turn 4. Now Steve Razor jumps out. Razor in position 4. Bob Tunks in position 5. And Dennis Parr flies through on the inside in the number 3 car. But the race leader is still the Victorian Ian Lewis, a former speed car driver turned sprint car this season, or 2 seasons back now, as the 18 car well and truly wound up. Ken Fowler spins to the infield now as George Tatnall and Garry Rush with all stops out, chasing Ian Lewis down through turns 3 and 4. Steve Brazier calling up more power. Bob Tunks has not given up, and Tunks fights through on the inside of Brazier. And George Tatnall now looks at the inside of Ian Lewis. Garry Rush also closing the gap. Round the outside now goes Lewis, followed by Tatnall and Rush. Brazier still back in 4th with a long haul on his hands. Now the freight train moves up through turns 1 and 2. Old Tatnall looks at the inside. Lewis shuts the gate. Rush just waiting for the opportunity. Down on turn 3 again. Look at this. George Tatnall, just absolutely incredible. Tatnall in all sorts of strife early tonight. Gives Lewis the message on the inside. On the down cars now. Oh, Tatnall taps away. Rush is there also. Okay, Tatnall puts a wheel out of the ballpark. Thumpale onto Rush as they run out of turn 2. Rush now in 2nd. Lewis is still the leader. Through the down cars they run. This is Parramatta. This is the action track. The sprint car capital of Australia. Oh, look at this action as they race out of turn 2. Lewis is still calling his shots. Rush looks on the inside now. Oh, and Garry Rush goes through. Garry Rush in car number 25, and Tatnall the next one through. The 2 Winfield cars running 1 and 2. Lewis relegated to 3rd, and here comes Brazier. Through goes Steve Brazier now, but Lewis fights back. Oh, this game, little Victorian, he's incredible now as he fights back against Steve Brazier. What a driver this young Victorian is, but it's New South Wales running 1, 2 and 3. 15 laps completed, 5 left remaining only. Onto the main straightaway is Garry Rush, followed up by George Tatnall, and look at Brazier go now. Brazier is cut loose after Tatnall down the back section. There's only a handful of laps remaining. And look at Rush motoring onto that main straightaway. Kicks high. This is vintage Rush. This is Garry Rush at his absolute best. And George Tatnall and Steve Brazier fighting out the 2nd place. Brazier goes round the outside, but Tatnall fights back. Tatnall fights back, but Brazier takes 2nd. Arthur Cowan has the white flag at the ready. There's not another speedway track in Australia that will give you sprint car racing this good. Garry Rush moves through onto the final lap. Brazier in 2nd, George Tatnall is 3rd, and that's the way they're going to finish. And the 1986 Garry Patterson Racers Cup goes to the wire. Garry Rush first. Steve Brazier thunders across the line in 2nd, and 3rd to the wire, George Tatnall. 3 absolute veterans. Incredible stuff. The 1986 Garry Patterson Racers Cup Gary Rush, the winner in the Winfield number 25 car. Gary Rush coming to halt over on the back straight away. What an incredible win for the Master Blaster. Okay.